Okay, so here we are now at the Hellfire Pass Interpretive Center. This is where we get all the bits of information before we go down to Hellfire Pass itself. It's extremely well looked after, this place. Apparently it's supported by the Australian government, and as far as I can see, there's no charge to come here. It's taken us an hour to come from sort of the bridge, the River Kwai area, and it's a lovely, lovely drive. So we're going to go in now and see what goes on here. So follow us in. Morning. How are you?
May I ask your nationality?
British.
British?
Yes.
And this is your first time?
It is indeed, yeah.
I will inform you a little bit. First of all, welcome to the center. We are a history center that talks about the Thai-Burma railway construction during the Second World War. Start from Ban Pong, Ratchaburi until the Than Busayat, Myanmar, and including here the Hellfire Pass. It is the deepest and the longest cutting of the entire railway. You can see on this map, this one is the deepest one or the biggest one compared to the other cutting along the trail. And there are two levels of this building here, and we are on the upper floor now. Inside we have a main gallery and a small theater, so you can watch a short film. It's about 10 minutes. You can reset the video to play again and switch the language. We have in Thai and in English version. And if you finish on the main gallery here, you can go downstairs on the hub level. We have the souvenir shop and selling a drinking water and snack as well. And you can also borrow an umbrella, a locker, or the audio tour guide headset for you to listen to the story along the trail also. This service is free of charge. You just need to leave an ID card or driving license or passport for deposit to our staff downstairs.
Okay, super. Am I allowed to take a drone?
The drone?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have all the documents required for Thailand. So I've got the BACC, whatever it is, all the required documents. I don't want to go high. I just want to go have a low shot in the pass.
I will ask
I mean, I can show you the documents if you need to see them.
And did you want to explain about this?
What? She did already.
Not yet.
She did. She just explained.
อันนี้ไปเรียบร้อยใช่ปะ
อันไหนคะ
อันนี้หนูอธิบาย
ตอนแรกกำลังจะอธิบายค่ะว่าแบบว่าทาง
โอเค
เส้น
งั้นอธิบายโอเค
โอเค
โอเค
ยังไม่ได้บอกทางใช่ไหม
ใช่
So this is our walking trail. You are here right now.
Okay.
The blue line is the short walk. It is around 500 meters. So there and back will be around 1 kilometer. It will take you past the Hellfire Pass or the Konyu cutting and aimed at the memorial. And if you like to go further than the memorial or further than the first 500 meters, that means you're going on this green line, which is long walk.
Yeah.
And the long walk is around 2.6 kilometers.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that. That's fine. We're probably just going to focus here.
Okay.
But that's great.
Okay. But in case you like to go just further than the memorial, just like
Oh, yes, at the end.
either
สวัสดีค่ะ
you just have to inform the staff downstairs so that they can have you carry a safety radio, a walkie-talkie.
Okay.
for
Oh,
your
yes,
safety.
yes. I saw that as well. Thank you.
And about the drone.
Okay. Just a little update here. We wanted to try and fly the drone through the Hellfire Pass, sort of at a low level, just to get a nice sort of perspective. But we have to go and speak to the army. Although I have all the relevant paperwork, unfortunately the big man's not here, so there's no decision that can be made. So the decision given is no. So if you want to come and fly a drone here, first of all, I don't think you get much of a high level shot anyway, and secondly, they're probably going to say no. But they've got no problem walking through with cameras and things like that. So that's just a little update so you know what to expect. If you have a drone, you're not going to be flying it here.
Hell of a view. I took a video of it.
Imagine have to work in there.
Yeah, crikey.
That's unbelievable.
Did I ring me out to face?
Cut.
Det er nok alle dem, der enten har bygget eller... Jeg er omkommet, tænker du ikke? Jo, jeg tror ikke, det er eller hvad hedder det. Hvad er det til far?
Jeg tror, han bare har sådan en bil om det. Det er nok ikke meget en ung. Far, du har bare en bil over.
So the video is here. We went in, around there. This way.
Har du fundet lidt mere, der sker noget af det der, hvor det hjælper? Prøv at se, om du kan lade være med at klø i det. Er det ikke rigtigt, det hjælper, det der? Nej. Ja, det er også.
The worst period was Hellfire Pass, because that was holding the completion of the whole lineup. I mean, they had to build bridges over rivers and they had to build roadbeds, all sorts of things. But this mountain, or hill, or two hills it was actually, was more or less solid granite.
This place was part of the Burma-Thailand Railway. In 1941, the armed forces of Japan swept westward into Southeast Asia, through Malaya, and in time through Indonesia, the Philippines, New Guinea, and Pacific Islands. They moved through neutral Thailand to support an invasion of British-ruled Burma, now Myanmar. There they threatened India. The place where you are became part of that story when the Japanese faced the problem of supporting its troops in Burma.
They were concerned about the vulnerability of Japanese shipping from submarines in the Indian Ocean, going around Malaysia and up there to supply Burma. So the concept was to have this railway going through from Thailand through to Burma, where they could supply their Burman troops that way.
This place, Konyu Cutting, was the deepest and longest cutting along the line of the Thai-Burma Railway, which the Imperial Japanese Army forced through to speed supply and reinforcement of its forces in Myanmar. Their workforce was not Japanese. This place saw a workforce of thousands, drawn from British, Australian, Dutch and American prisoners of war, captured during the sweep through Southeast Asia and Malaya, and at the fall of Singapore, and thousands of Asian labourers or Romusha.
hundreds of thousands of Indian slaves. They won't tell you the truth. Of mostly Tamil Indians and the poor Malayans and all that. If we had a bad time, they had a shocking time. They had no organisation. They had no one to lead them, no one to help them, and they died in their tens of thousands.
At this place, the work was amongst the hardest of the entire project. During what the Japanese termed the Speedo period, from April to August 1943, when the working day could stretch to 18 hours or more, it was the most brutal place, and its death toll can never be accurately known.
When things were really hot towards the end there, when they were pushing the railway very hard, I think I used to start sick parade at about 4 in the morning, and you'd come up and been up till about 10 the night before, and then you had to go and see these guys in the dark and try and pick out who was fit to go and work, and they were all cooked.
Work gangs were labouring here in daylight and in darkness, when bamboo flares and lamps lit the site. And that is what suggested to someone the name that has stuck to Konyu cutting, Hellfire Pass.
When we were working on Hellfire Pass, biggest percentage of the time there we lived on rice and what we call stink fish. It was dried fish, and there was more bones than there was fish, sort of business. But you just put up with it, sort of, and there was nothing else you could do.
Work here started in November 1942 with British prisoners and Tamil labourers. The first Australians arrived sometime around April 25th, 1943. April 25th is the day that Australia remembers her war dead, Anzac Day. The day on which the Australian troops first went into action in the First World War. Those who worked at this place suffered at the hands of their guards. All were beaten, many severely. Some with permanent effect, some were killed. But the death toll at this place and along the railway tells us more about the conditions in which the men lived and worked, the inadequate diet and the presence of disease. Dysentery, malaria, tropical ulcers, and above all, cholera took a fearful toll. 30% of Australians held prisoner by the Japanese died in captivity.
No chap that was there died on his own. He always had somebody beside him. You'd talk to him, you'd do everything you could for him, even though you knew you couldn't do any more for him. But you'd talk to try and comfort him and everything like that. You'll be right, mate, don't worry about it, you'll be right, you know. Most probably they knew themselves they weren't going to be right. But you know, we'll be doing this, we'll be doing that when we go home.
Most of the work done at this place was done with hand tools. Hellfire Pass was cut and blasted through the solid rock by men with hammers and spikes. 2-man teams, one with the heavy hammer, the other rotating the metal drill in the rock until a hole large enough to contain a dynamite charge had been gouged out.
Raise them, let the hammer do the work. And I would swing the hammer most of the day, and Harry would use the skill of getting it through the rock. He would also say, Tom, don't bust yourself, take your time, play it easy. We'll go dark. It's a mining term. That was the contract you had to do, and then you could go back.
And the work they did at this place, day and night, was often in the worst possible conditions. The men had to walk to the worksite, perhaps several steep kilometres from their camp. And in the wet season, for months, that was dangerous and it was unhealthy.
It rained for over 100 days, and the place was awash.
The clothes in which the prisoners were captured soon rotted, and their boots fell apart.
I was about 150 days without boots, just getting around on bare feet.
Mainly barefoot and with improvised loincloths, they lived on little more than poor quality rice, and their heroic doctors did what they could with virtually no supplies.
I happened to be on the saw. They had a bucket of boiling water there. They put the saw in the bucket of boiling water. Half a dozen fellas rolled this fella down, cut his leg off, and put the saw in the bucket of water and washed it. I took it back to the bamboos.
That is the story of this place. It is the story that has been told here in the Interpretive Centre. If you choose, you can walk through Konyu Cutting, Hellfire Pass. The rails have long since been removed, but the cutting, the rock faces, are as the prisoners made them and knew them and left them. If you choose to walk through the cutting, you walk where they walked and worked and lived and died.
When we started work on Hellfire Pass on Anzac Day 1943, and we worked right through until it was finished. It was all solid rock. We had to blow it out, dynamite, and then what was there we used to push it over the bank.
For years, this place lay hidden by the jungle. But it was identified afresh in the 1980s, and since then, with the support of the Australian government, has been restored as a place of memory and reflection.
Comforted and cuddled and nurtured, but I've never seen an Australian
AIS has nothing to do with WISE.
Then you work for you, the chance for you,
Probably always will be. Start recording.
So we didn't come this way.
No.
That exit.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up there.
Just up that stretch here.